Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us. There are now just 6 working days left for Congress this month, and this week they've been busy. Among the agenda items, a continuing resolution which Mike Johnson once again failed to get passed yesterday. Also on the agenda, the House voted on H.R. 7909. This is a resolution sponsored by Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina. This resolution seeks to make illegal aliens who have committed heinous acts, such as domestic violence, stalking, child abuse, and sexual offenses inadmissible and deportable from the United States. That bill was able to get passed by a vote of 266 to 158, garnering the vote of 51 Democrats. So if you're wondering, that's correct. 158 Marxist Dems voted against the deportation of illegals found guilty of committing those crimes. Also happening this week, the Arizona Globe is reporting a troubling development following a rally which President Trump held in Tucson last Thursday. Arizona Globe journalist Christy Kelly reports that at least 20 Trump supporters seated behind President Trump on stage were rushed to the ER with blurred vision and eye burns after the rally. Kelly says she spoke to several of them who have still not fully recovered. The cause of the symptoms remains unknown and an active investigation is underway. Now, the timing is highly peculiar considering just a few days after that event, they caught another would-be Trump assassin. In just a few moments, we're going to be joined by a lady named Bevelyn Williams. In June of 2020, Bevelyn took part in a peaceful protest outside a New York City Planned Parenthood facility. More than 2 years after attending that protest and being sued civilly by New York AG Tish James, Bev was charged criminally by the Biden DOJ. In July of this year, she was found guilty of violating the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrance Act for blocking the entrance of Planned Parenthood. Bevelyn has now been over-sentenced with a sentence of 41 months in jail with a 2-year-old child at home. All this as hundreds of thugs still run free after causing massive destruction during the BLM Antifa Summer of Love in 2020. Bev, it's great to have you here on the Great America Show. And as I just told the audience your story, I mean, it's truly disheartening what's going on in this country. If you will, break it down for the audience. What transpired on that day at Planned Parenthood and everything that's happened since?
Well, let's talk about the day and what happened, and let's talk about what they claim to have happened. So it was a 2-day Jesus Matters rally, and it was in 2020 around, the Summer of Love. And there were police present, and we had announced this rally to happen. So Planned Parenthood knew it was going to happen. And so they then asked for pro-aborts to come and protest us, counter-protest us. Police were there.
Mm-hmm.
I never got arrested. I never got a ticket. I never got a citation. Ambulance never showed up. There literally nothing happened but protesting abortion and protesters protesting us. That's it. So on that 2-day rally, I walked away from that at peace. I felt like everything was okay. I followed the law. Things were fine. Next thing I know, in 2021, right after they forced Trump out of office by stealing the election, Letitia James came after me. She sued me for that same rally. And because I had already moved to Tennessee, I had settled for an injunction of 30 feet from the building or a $5,000 charge. Fine, right? And so then now Dotson happened. And by the end of 2022, I was federally indicted for that rally again. And now they were saying that I had injured some woman's hand, that I slammed her hand in the door, and that she went to the doctor 5 days later. She was told to take ibuprofen. And because of that, I am violent, I'm vicious, and I'm not allowed to be on the streets.
Jesus, I mean, that's unbelievable. In reading through the DOJ's papers against you, they said that you threatened to terrorize the place. I don't think I've ever heard of a pro-life activist going to anywhere to terrorize a place. I mean, what do you make of that categorization of the Justice Department, of you as a human being?
They use biblical scripture that I would speak, and they turned it into threats. So when I would say things like, I cancel this place in the name of Jesus, they saw that as a physical threat. When I say in the name of Jesus, we declare terror on this place. No peace for the wicked. We're going to terrorize this place in Jesus' name. They made it seem like I was threatening with like guns and armor, but I was speaking from a spiritual perspective. I was making a proclamation according to the spirit. I don't really focus on Planned Parenthood as a physical place that's killing babies. I look at the spiritual component as well. And I see
Right.
that it's a portal and it's innocent blood being shed and being declared against the city and playing a part in the cause of all this crime in New York at the time when I was living there, and just it going downhill. So they basically manipulated what I said in court to try to make it sound like, and they said this to the jury. They said this is not about her religious beliefs. This is about women's rights. This is about women's reproductive health care. And that's it. My freedom of speech, that clause for the trial, the judge would not allow it. So we could not argue freedom of speech, and we could not present that to the jury. We were screwed.
Unbelievable. So they arrest you in July. You got charged. You're sentenced now to 41 months in jail. You're a married mother. You have a 2-year-old child at home. Your husband works full time. Where do you stand right now in the case?
I mean, we're appealing it now. My lawyer's working on it right now. We're hoping for a stay of appeals where I can fight my case from the outside. I'm devastated. I mean, you guys, you have to understand the type of woman I am. I just want you to know this. I feel like if you were in my presence right now, I don't think you would feel in danger by me. I feel like you would feel safe. I am not a threat to society at all. I'm the person that if I see something funny, I'm calling the cops. I'm very cool with my neighbors, making sure that we have each other's back. I'm not a criminal. I don't steal. I'm not a threat to society. And the fact that they would treat me like that, it kind of, in two ways, it kind of threw me off, because it was like, on one end, they treat me like a monster and like I'm an animal. But then on another end, they make me realize how effective I was. And they make me realize how powerful my voice was. And I just was being an obedient daughter, raising my voice against abortion. I didn't know that I could be such a threat to these people that they want me away. They don't care about my 2-year-old daughter or my husband, who I love my husband, and my husband's a great man, but he can't do nothing without me. He can't even go to the grocery store without calling me, let alone keep my daughter. And while I'm gone for 3.5 years, it's too much.
Yeah, a 2-year-old child for that long. I mean, it's just a travesty what the Justice Department has done in this country. And it's the Department of Injustice, because you look at someone like you, going out there and doing something for your faith, and you had mentioned before, right? You had not as much as a parking ticket before in your life. Is that correct?
No, I'm not going to say that. No, there's a gap, a 10-year gap. I got saved in jail, believe it or not, in 2013. So no, I've had things happen in my life. I've had a background, and I think they kind of use that against me too. They also, let me just break it down to you like this. I was charged with 2 charges. I was charged with conspiracy of face, and I was charged with face. I was found not guilty on conspiracy. But now when sentencing happened, they basically sentenced me as if I was found guilty on conspiracy, though I wasn't. They beefed up my charges because they said I was a ringleader, which again, I was found not guilty on conspiracy. So they just kind of beefed up everything to hit me with this hammer, And so that's why I got the time that I got. They were like, all right, she has a big following. She has 65,000 people at a time watching her stand in front of this abortion clinic. She was just too loud. We need to make an example of her. And they said this in court. We need to make an example of her. And the judge was like, yeah, you're right. Let's do it. 41 months.
Unbelievable. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to discuss the 2-tier system of justice that, you've fallen victim to. And, it's sad to say that you're not the only person. I mean, there's over 1,000 J6ers, hundreds still sitting in jail, no trial. They're not even sure what they did. A lot of them never even entered the Capitol yet. They're being persecuted, and it's persecution. It's not prosecution. Because if they did something wrong, they would have given them their charges, and not now, January 6th, 2021. We're now in September of 2024. It's a travesty, and it's happening all across the board, but it's only happening to a certain group of people, and it's not the Marxist Democrats. We're going to take that up on the other side of this quick break. We're coming right back with Bev. Stay with us. Folks, are you tired of supporting big box stores and multi-billion-dollar corporations that don't support us? Corporations that donate tens of millions of dollars a year to push woke Marxist dem ideologies? Whether it be Amazon and Jeff Bezos or Target with their transgender clothing for kids, or even Bud Light going totally woke, enough is enough. Why should we as lovers of this country continue to support these corporations? The answer is we shouldn't. I constantly get people who reach out to me and ask, John, what can we do to save this country? Where can we shop and support American-made brands and conservative ideologies? Well, we now have a solution to stop shopping at these woke companies and stop funding the deep state, and a solution to buy American. This is something we can all do right now to kick the deep state in the teeth and stop funding our enemies and vote with our dollars. We have a parallel economy for around 450 household products. Not only can you cancel woke brands like Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson, you can also cancel the stores that carry them. I need you all to head over to switchwithjohn.com, that's switchwithjohn.com, where you can read all about our movement. We have access to a conservative manufacturer that will replace these brands and the stores you buy them from. It isn't an additional budget item because instead of turning right into Target or left into Walmart, you're going to shop directly online, directly with the manufacturer. Folks, this is a patriot movement that is happening right now before our eyes. Every 47 seconds, a shopper is switching to our online store, and we need you to partner with us, join us, and band together. I just canceled my Amazon Prime subscription because I've truly had enough. So what do you say? It's time to put your money where your heart is? Join us today and help save this nation. Go to switchwithjohn.com. That's switchwithjohn.com to learn how you can join thousands of other patriots and help take this nation back. switchwithjohn.com. We'll see you there. We're back and we're talking with pro-life activist Bev Williams. And Bev, I was thinking about something over the break there, and it was the fact that your case was brought federally. This was a case in New York, probably a misdemeanor case in everyone else's case. Nobody was harmed. Nobody was hurt. Tish James brought the civil case against you. You'd settled the case, done, over with. Now comes the federal case. Why do you think they came after you federally after Tish James could have came after you criminally? She didn't. She came after you civilly. Why do you think the federal government came after you on this case?
What they did was they maximized their power. They thought strategically about this, and they were like, we're going to capitalize off of our power. Number one, once someone came after me statewide, you couldn't come after me, statewide again, because it would have been double jeopardy to come after me for the same thing twice. So what they did was they decided, okay, we're going to hit her with a lawsuit to keep her from the building on a state level, and then we're going to charge her on a federal level. But the thing is, Letitia James, she could have came after me, like you said, criminal-wise. She could have just charged me criminally. If I really had hurt this woman and blocked her hand in the door and I was such a violent threat, why wait 2 years to come after me? Why wait for it to be federal to come after me? Because it wasn't about me being a threat to actually society. It was a lynching. They wanted to lynch me. They wanted to shut me up, and they wanted me to feel the full force of their power. And that's clear.
Now, who was it who came against you at the DOJ? Which henchman was it?
I think it was Bevelyn Williams. Again, these are all Biden appointees, but Bevelyn Williams, and then even my judge was appointed by Biden Harris administration.
Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, who's at the top of all this, who's calling the shots. And I mean, every time I hear him speak, it's like, I don't know if he's there or he's not there. But I mean, the man is evil as all hell. Going after people, ruining their lives, young people, elderly people, showing up at activists' house, pro-life activists' house, sending the FBI like gangsters and thugs to people's houses, making them terrified. But everyone else gets a free pass. The first Trump assassin, wannabe assassin, the FBI met with him. The FBI was aware of him. Let it go. That school shooting in Georgia had, the FBI was aware of him. That's it. This latest Trump assassin, it was on the FBI's watch list for years. Let it go. Almost assassinated the president. But Merrick Garland assures us, and I want to play this for the audience, he assures us that there's no two-tier system of justice, no matter who you are, your skin color, your political affiliations, anything. Take a listen to this monster of a man.
They ensure that we adhere to the rule of law. These mean, among other things, that we do not have different rules for Democrats or Republicans, different rules for the powerful or the powerless, different rules for the rich or for the poor. We apply the facts and the law in each case in a neutral, nonpartisan manner. That is what we always do, and that is what we do in the matters that you're referring to.
Okay.
What do you say to the Attorney General after him coming after you?
I say this, thou shalt not lie. You know, you were voted in and you were put in to the position that you were, not to be a liar to the people and not to be a handler for the higher ups to shut up who you want to shut up. And at this point, I feel so sad because it's just, I'm watching someone who is supposed to protect me.
Right.
He's a handler for whomever the powers that be that want people to shut up because they have a communist Marxist agenda. And I'll say this, I'm going to add to that. For him to say what he's saying, I'm kind of mind boggled right now. I'm going through that internally right now because I watched an announcement be made against P. Diddy today. And I watched Damian Williams speak out against him. And I watched the prosecutor women stand next to him. And all of them were the women that were in the courtroom when they were coming after me. And so for me to watch Diddy, who was somebody who I think genuinely, I feel like we all know he really did do these things. And I really think he has monstrous ways, in a sense, be the same team that came after me. It told me only one thing. I said, wait a minute. If they're coming after him like this, and that's the same team that came after me, it's not about justice. It's not about justice. Yeah. These are handlers. These are foot soldiers, and somebody's making the calls at the top to shut down what they think needs to be shut down. And so for me, it goes back to a Marxist communist agenda. Our justice system is no longer about fighting for righteousness and condemning evil. It's about shutting down the big mouths so they can do what they want to do. And he is a handler for that agenda, period.
Yeah, I think the Diddy case is a case in itself. Him not getting granted bail, and now he sits in the prison where Ghislaine Maxwell sat, and many other people died, I think is highly questionable. Some are even saying he faces the same fate as one Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
The same thing earlier. I'm like, but, for them to do this like this, this ain't about justice. This is somebody at the top calling, shut that down, shut that down, shut that down. And our tax money is paying for handlers to handle whomever, including us.
Right. You know, I read through the indictment, and the indictment had said that the FBI retrieved all tapes of the heinous acts that P. Diddy was doing with his people. And as soon as I read that, I said, you know what? That's sort of interesting because Jeffrey Epstein also had tapes of powerful people in vulnerable, we'll just keep it clean here, in vulnerable positions. To put it in perspective, to put it in perspective, you'd mentioned the Summer of Love. In Minnesota, 1,000 buildings were burned in the George Floyd riots. Out of all of the people and the crime that was committed there, 100 people faced felony charges there. 95% faced misdemeanor charges, 520 people. 95% of the 520 were dismissed. Nobody ever faced criminal charges. None that you even heard about. Who went to jail? The cop who killed George Floyd, the cops who aided and abetted in it, and one Kyle Rittenhouse, who was later acquitted, but they ruined the kid's life. He was a young man out in the streets patrolling for his friend who owned a dealership or whatever, so the place didn't get burned down. And they put this kid through the ringer only for him to be exonerated. But it doesn't matter. The damage is done. His life is ruined. And it's the same thing they're doing to you. It's the same thing they're doing to these Jan 6ers who, once they get out of jail, even if they're not charged, they're going to get out of jail and they're never going to be able to get a job again in their life. They're going to be on a fly list the rest of their life. They're going to be on a watch list the rest of their life. And it's all because of this Department of Justice. Now you get Merrick Garland, who comes out here time and time again, and he cries and moans. Why are people coming after my department? They're coming after my prosecutors. They're saying they're bad people. Take a listen to him whining and moaning for something he's done.
a range of public officials across the country. Over the past 3.5 years, there has been an escalation of attacks on the Justice Department's career lawyers, agents, and other personnel that go far beyond scrutiny, criticism, and legitimate and necessary oversight of our work. These attacks have come in the form of conspiracy theories, dangerous falsehoods, efforts to bully and intimidate career public servants by repeatedly and publicly singling them out, and threats of actual violence. Through your work, you have made clear that the Justice Department will not be intimidated by these attacks. But it is dangerous and outrageous that you have to endure them. It is dangerous to target and intimidate individual employees of this department solely for doing their jobs. And it is outrageous that you have to face these unfounded attacks because you are doing what is right and upholding the rule of law. You deserve better. You deserve gratitude for the...
I mean, is that a joke? Him talking about his prosecutors, being spoken out against, it's just mind blowing to me. How none of these prosecutors, if they're, being targeted or whatever they want to call it, don't just resign.
Right.
Why are they doing his bidding?
Right. My question to you is like, he said something very peculiar to me. He said it is dangerous to question or to come after these prosecutors and what they're doing. Why?
Right.
Isn't that our job as the American people? When did it become dangerous to question things? When did it become dangerous and scary to say, hey, we need you to kind of back up what you're doing. We need a little bit more evidence and proof as to why you're doing the things that you're doing. Why is that dangerous?
Right.
Why is it dangerous to question our system? Why is it dangerous to monitor the people, to monitor tyranny?
Yep.
Why? So for me, it's just like the words sound really slick, but they make me nervous because now you're telling, that's like my husband saying, it's really dangerous for you to question why am I not coming home at 2 a.m?
Right.
Wait a minute. Is this not my right as a wife to figure out like, why are you out that late? Is it not the American people's right to like ask questions and say, hey, listen, you should be able to give us an account of the prosecutions that you're doing as a people because we're paying for it. And we want to know what's actually being put towards this and what's actually being put towards what you want done. Right?
Absolutely.
So I just think it's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of gaslighting. It's a lot of narcissistic language to me. And it's a lot of selfish. They've been in their positions too long.
Yep.
They've been in their positions too long. They've been getting a check from the USA for too long. They have to go. They got to go.
Yep. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I mean, the whole place, I tell everyone who comes on this show and government bureaucrats and members of Congress that come on here, the FBI, the DOJ, I mean, is corrupt as hell. I don't really know how you clean the place up without completely eviscerating it. But like you said, if you question it, you're now all of a sudden a conspiracy theorist. And, Merrick Garland telling everyone a few weeks ago, don't you dare think about questioning the 2024 election. And he used the January 6th political hostages as, a trophy to say, if you guys are to question it, you're going to end up just like them. Bev, I want to take one more quick break here. When we come back, I want to go further into your work on being pro-life. Abortion is going to be on the ballot in 10 states this next coming election. Fertility rates hitting an all-time low. What are we going to do? I want to take a quick break here. We're coming right back.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
We're back. We're talking with Bev Williams, pro-life activist, sentenced to 41 months in jail by the corrupt Biden Garland Department of Justice for absolutely nothing. But what more can we expect of it? Bev, coming up in November, abortion is on the ballot in 10 states: Arizona, Florida, Colorado, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota, and New York. Kamala Harris tomorrow going down to Georgia to make a speech about the death of 2 women who died from complications during birth. What do you see on the horizon of this election? You're not, hopefully you're around for it and you get out of this on appeal. What do you say to the audience?
I want to just really challenge you to you have to just fear God in this hour. I'm asking you to. Like, you guys, look at what's happening. They are so desperate. They're trying to kill Trump. We knew this was coming. We knew that once they couldn't get him with law, once they couldn't get him with the DOJ, they were going to try to take this man's life. This tells you the severity of this election, the severity of the state of America and where we're at. This is life or death for this nation, real talk. So when it comes to abortion, let me just say this. This whole rhetoric about, women dying from complications from having a baby, listen to me. It's called C-section. I'm a mother. You don't have to kill the baby to save the mother. You can just remove the baby from the mother's stomach. It's called a C-section. We've been doing them for a very long time. They've been very successful. I almost died as a baby and my mom was at risk. My mom got a C-section. I got a C-section. This whole issue to where you have to kill the baby to live, it is a lie. And it should tell you something. Why are people so desperate to kill babies? Oh, well, the mother may have complications or she may be too young. We've cooked up every excuse in the book when the bottom line is we're murdering kids. So please don't vote this year to murder kids. Yeah. There are always other ways. Don't let the government tell you different, because a doctor will tell you 20 different ways that you can go about helping a mother and the baby. An abortionist kills the baby. A doctor helps both patients. We shouldn't be advocating for abortionists in this hour. We should be advocating for doctors who understand the health of the mother and the health of the baby are important and have the skills to protect both. Right. You don't need to abort a baby for the mother to live. And if it's all this fallopian tube pregnancies, first of all, if you're pregnant in your fallopian tube, the baby's dead anyway. It's not technically an abortion. Let me just say that. You cannot carry a fallopian tube baby to full term. It is basically a dead egg, and it has to be removed anyway. And it is not technically considered an abortion. An abortion is when a baby is full on live, healthy, settled in your uterus, not your fallopian tube, and they are deciding to extract that baby from the uterus sooner than when it was supposed to be. You don't have to do that. So please do not choose abortion this year. Just choose life. Choose life of our nation. Choose life of our children. Because America needs it. Unless you want all of your kids to be Mexican and Haitian. If you want all the rest of America to be Mexican and Haitian and all you white people to not be here no more, then okay, go ahead, wait for it. Good luck to you. Right. You won't be around. I'll let you know that now.
Right. We're a dying a species, we'll call it, Americans. You had mentioned C-sections. It's actually interesting you said that. In 2023, C-sections the rate of C-section increased 32.5% in 2023. So interesting you say that. But fertility rates drops to now another historic low for 2023. people aren't having kids. If you want to look at some data that's interesting, birth rates in 1950 when they started keeping track was about 24 births per 1,000 women. Now they're just about 10 births per 1,000 women since 1950. The UN, United Nations, which I don't trust a damn thing they say it's going to flatline around here for the next 30 years or so. But I'm not buying it. When you see a drop off like that since 1950, that's just accelerated downward. And I mean, there's so many catalysts now why people aren't having kids, whether it be an economy. I live in New York, and to raise a family on, I think the median household income across America is somewhere in the range of like $60,000. New York, you can't raise yourself on $50,000. It's near impossible. Now, forget about a family, but whether that be it. But the Democrats, the DNC, they paraded abortions like it was something cool to do. Like we're going to set up abortion vans outside the DNC and vasectomy vans for men. I don't understand what is so cool about it and how you go home and sleep at night knowing what you're doing is just plain wrong.
I mean, number one, you guys are falling for the agenda. If you are co-signing this, it's population control. Number one. Number two, this is a playbook from the Communist Party all day long. When you can't change the mind of the people, you get new people.
Right.
Right? And so that's why you have third world country individuals come in. And mind you, we all know third world country people produce at a substantially higher rate than your average first world country families. Okay. So by your 5 years and their 5 years, they're going to have 5 kids. You're going to have 1. They're going to blow you out of the water. Okay. But now if they're coming in and they're getting the help and the assistance and all they know is that Democrat Party saved our lives. Democrat Party brought us to the country of the free. Well, guess what? In a couple more years, we're going to look like France. Ladies, Paris on TV is not Paris in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paris in real life is full of people of all different races. I mean, I'm talking about from Senegal, and it's beautiful, but it's not Paris. Yep. Okay, you have people on the streets selling fake Gucci bags and Louis Vuitton bags and hustling. You don't get to see that ancient cobblestone road of Paris anymore, or seeing those clean streets and those cherry blossoms, or I might get the flower wrong, but the beautiful blooming trees in the springs of Paris. There's piss at the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower's pissy. These people come from their foreign countries, but they don't come to integrate. They bring their ways with them. Their home is a crap hole for a reason. I've been to third world countries. Let me tell you what I've saw, okay? In Kenya alone, I saw the lack of understanding of basic hygiene and cleanliness. People would just put a goat in the same room where they sleep and then wonder why their whole face is covered in eczema and their whole back is just wretched with marks and things like that. It's because they don't have the basic sense to think, hey, maybe the goat shouldn't sleep in my bedroom with me where they poop and sleep, right? Maybe my outhouse shouldn't be next to my garden. Maybe that'll affect the quality of the fruit. Maybe I shouldn't put my cow next to this so that it can be skinny and not and can't eat and just can't get plump. There is a lack of understanding of how to live. It's not just that these people don't have things in third world countries. That's not the truth. The Bible says that if you are a good steward of little, you will be a great steward of much. Most of the individuals in third world countries, they can't handle much. They wouldn't know what to do with it. It ends up in the sewer. Don't forget, a lot of the scraps we send to third world countries, you know where they end up? In the sewer, in the dump, along with dead bodies. So there is not a value of things in these countries. They don't know how to value their city. They don't know how to drive and respect the roads and respect the light. They crash cars. They see your dog walking around, they eat it. They piss in the sewage. They don't have time to go to a pond and look at beautiful ducks. They eat them. It's a totally different world, Totally different mindset. And it's not because the lack thereof, it's because the lack of knowledge to take care of what they have. You are
Yeah.
literally letting these people bring that in and then multiply at rates 5-10 times faster than you could ever do. And they're going to replace America. Is that
But
what
when
you
you
want?
say it, but when you say it, you're a racist and you're a xenophobe because it's people from South America coming, or people from Mexico or Guatemala or Honduras or Haiti is the latest one. Springfield, Ohio, you referenced about eating the cats and dogs. At the debate, they told Trump that he made that whole thing up, that they were eating cats and dogs because the city, whatever the hell he was, commissioner, manager, said it wasn't happening, or he'd heard unconfirmed reports of it happening. Then we get 911 phone calls of people calling it in. Now, months back. Now, this isn't just happened last week after the debate. This is from months ago, and I think as far back as a year ago. But you're right. I mean, there's an assimilation. I was in Paris actually 2 months ago, and there's a massive. You go out at night by the Champs-Élysées, and there's a massive Middle Eastern population that wasn't there when I was, visiting there as a kid with my parents. And it's going to be America. And to your point, when you bring them here, they're going to vote Democrat. Last week, I think it was 100,000 mistaken ballots in Arizona allowed people to register to vote without any ID because it was a mistake, or was it? It's all part of the Democrats' plan to take over this country, and by securing the millions and millions and millions of illegals who are already here, 20 plus million. Republicans will never win election again, and the Democrats will stay in control. So when they say dictator, nobody's done more dictator-like things than the Democrats, whether it be forcing Joe Biden, pushing him off the cliff.
Look at
bring in
Kamala. What
Kamala
vote did
Harris.
she get?
Right.
Why is she running?
Right. Well, she stole the nomination. We're running out of time here. I want to wrap up with this. Planned Parenthood, as you know very well, announces gender-affirming care is now available across northwestern states, Hawaii, Alaska, Indiana, Kentucky. They're doing gender-affirming care for anyone 18 or older after they've lost the abortion fight in some of those more conservative states. They're now moving on to turning people into trannies. Your thoughts?
I'm going to say something, and I know that it's probably going to backfire, but I'm just going to trust God, and I'm going to say it. You guys, Planned Parenthood is a Goliath of America. Not only is it the big Goliath because of what it financially brings to the table, it's the big Goliath because of the agenda to destroy, the same way Goliath wanted to destroy Israel. Okay? I'm going to bring in two perspectives for you. Number one, these people clear after expenses, and I'm talking about greasing palms, paying their higher ups, paying for their building bills, all of that, $40 billion. Do you understand what you can do with $40 billion that have no title to it? You know how when you get paid, you got your money, okay, that go to the rent, that go to the...
Right.
They got $40 billion to do whatever they want with it, okay? That's a beast. That's worse than Diddy. Diddy's nothing, okay? But then on top of that, they are eugenists. They are population control, and they are people control. American people cannot be controlled, but third world people can be. World people, they will submit. Just give me what you can give me so that I can survive till tomorrow. American people will miss a couple meals for the standard of respect. That's what makes us American. Okay? Mm-hmm. They are asking us to not, if not kill our babies in the womb and eliminate population there. They're now wanting our sons to castrate themselves and our daughters to remove their uteruses so that, again, population control will be our demise. Yet, if you think that guy from Haiti is cutting his dick off, you're wrong. He's going to look at you crazy. He's going to think, oh my God, you're the devil. If you think that guy from Mexico is cutting his thing off, you're bugging. And if you think a Muslim is, please, only way they cutting something off is when they blowing up themselves and whomever else for the cause. Okay? I'm just going to be straight up. It's not happening. These people coming in are going to watch us kill ourselves and die out and take over our nation. And they are going to come with not the heart of an American. They're going to submit like they did back in their country. And it's going to be more land, more space, more room for third world chaos.
Yeah, and Americans will have to assimilate to it. And the interesting thing about Planned Parenthood, it's a 501c3 charity. It's what they categorize under, according to the IRS, which means they're very, very, very tax exempt criminal organization, I would say. I wouldn't go anything short of that for all the bad things they do to this country. It's truly a shame. Bev, you have a Give, Send, Go. Can you tell the audience where they can go to support you as you're in the fight for your life right now?
Right. Thank you. Yes. givesendgo.com/BevelynBeattyWilliams.com. You guys, please I don't care, $5, 50 cents, $1. I don't care what you donate. Just please, right now, you guys know when the federal government comes after you, even if they don't win, they're satisfied with bleeding you out. They want you to be financially impossible when they get done with you. And so I'm just asking for the people to band together with me so that I can pay for my lawyers and I can fight, because, guys, I'm a precedent for y'all. If they can get away with sentencing me to 41 months for raising my voice and preaching the gospel, they will literally use me as a precedent to now start sentencing other Christians who they choose, keyword, choose to indict, because they want you shut up. So you guys, this is not just a case about me. This is a case for the American people, and I'm asking you to join me and partner with me on being there for the American people in this time. We need the help.
Bev, where can they follow you on social media?
Oh, so when you go to givesendgo.com on my page, it has all of my links. I'm on Facebook. I'm on X, though I'm really never on X. I'm old. I'll be on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook, Bevelyn Beatty Williams, but also on that givesendgo.com page, you can see all of my links and my ministries page at wellministry.org, where you can email me, you can write me a letter, and yeah, you can connect with me there.
Excellent, Bev. Thanks so much for joining us. We're all praying for you, and we hope that it's a positive outcome in this appeal, and you don't have to report to jail in October, because it's a travesty of what's going on in this country. We're all praying for you, Bev. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Please be sure to join us back here tomorrow for the Great America Show as our quest for truth, justice, and the American way continues. Shoot me a tweet. Let me know what you want to hear more of on this show. You can follow me at John Fawcett NY on Twitter and at Truth Social John Fawcett. You could also email us at info@loudobbs.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. May God bless you. May God bless America, and may God bless the great Lou Dobbs.